Hello and welcome to a new vlog and trip report, and today we're taking a Lint of Vlexx from Saarbrücken to Frankfurt, and here on the map you can see our route today. We are traveling on the Nahe the Nahe Valley Railway, which is a very beautiful railway line. And we are starting at the main station of Saarbrücken, where I arrived in the last video with the Saarbahn. Here you can see the interior of the Vlexx Lint, which is pretty good. At the airline style seats we have small tables, and at the base of 4 we have big tables with power sockets available. And here you can take a look into the first class. But now it's time to listen to the sound of the train. We have just left the main station of Saarbrücken and now we're heading in the direction of Frankfurt. It will take us approximately 3 hours to get there. There's also possibility to take the ICE or the TGV from Saarbrücken to Frankfurt. That will take approximately 2 hours, so it's a bit faster. This train will go via Mannheim. When I was traveling, regional trains and long distance trains took about the same amount of time as the Riedbahn was still closed. But now the long distance trains are faster again. Here we've reached the first important stop on our way, which is Neunkirchen, where you have connections on, for example, to Lebach and on to Homburg. We are now continuing on the Nahe Nahe Valley Railway. Next stop for us is Ottweiler. Here you have a connection on to Schwarzerden, but it's only used for heritage trains. So we are continuing on to St. Wendel, where there used to be a connection to Tolley, and further on to Türkismühle, which is also an important stop in between. There used to be another connection to Schwarzerden and a connection on to Nonnweiler and Hermeskeil. Both of them are not in use anymore. Next stop then is Neubrücke an der Nahe, followed by Heimbach Nahe. And from Heimbach you have a connection on to Baumholder, which is also still in use. But first here you can see the connection on to Schwarzerden. This railway line is operated, as I said, by a Lint of Vlexx, and we were traveling in the afternoon, so the sun was slowly starting to set, the weather was getting better, so we were getting quite some nice light on our way through the Saarnahe hills and the Hunsrück. These are the two landscapes that we are going through. We are now following for most of the time the river Nahe, which we are crossing countless times. We also have countless tunnels on our way, and that's why this is a pretty scenic and beautiful landscape and railway line, so it's worth traveling on that line at least once. Even though the long distance trains are faster, they are taking a different line which is less spectacular. The trains are quite okay, the seats are not too comfortable. These are very typical seats for a lot of trains in Germany, and they are not known for being too comfortable, but they are quite okay, and you have tables and power sockets, so it is quite okay for 3 hours. For the Lints were in use here, the Deutsche Bahn was using the class 612, which in my opinion is a bit more comfortable, but it is a tilting train. Some people have problems with that, and also they do not have power sockets, so in general I would say it's more or less comparable. On our way to Frankfurt we will also stop in Ida Oberstein, which is a quite famous city, the probably most important stop within the mountains here. And then we are continuing on, stopping at a few smaller cities and villages. Next important stop is Bad Sobernheim, which is followed by Staudernheim. There you have a connection on to Lauterecken, Grumbach and Altenglan. It's the so-called Glan Valley Railway, which is only used for touristic draisines, but not for regular trains anymore. And this Glan Valley Railway also has a quite interesting layout, because at Odernheim, at the river Glan, it is splitting up in 2 railway lines. One is going to Staudernheim and the other one is going to Bad Münster am Stein, and the other part is going completely parallel with our railway line just on the other side of the river Nahe for multiple kilometers, so that's quite an interesting layout. Here you can see the Nahe Valley Railway going to Odernheim, and shortly after we will have the second part of this railway line on the other side of the river going together with us to Bad Münster am Stein. Shortly before reaching Bad Münster am Stein we have also a very spectacular view because we can see the so-called Rotenfels. It's a mountain which is 327 meters high and has a cliff with a height of about 200 meters, and it is known as the highest cliff between the Alps and Scandinavia, so it is a very interesting sight. Here we can see the cliff, and it was even hard to get the whole cliff in the shot even with the wide angle lens of the GoPro, so I think that gives a quite good impression of how big this mountain actually is. It's a very impressive sight, so make sure to not miss this view shortly before reaching Bad Münster am Stein. In Bad Münster am Stein we're meeting the former Nahe Valley Railway line that I was talking about earlier on, and shortly after we are also meeting the Alsace Valley Railway line, which is still in use, and after meeting those railway lines we are reaching the station of Bad Münster am Stein. After the station we are crossing the Nahe once again. On the right side you have a fantastic view. Also make sure to not miss this beautiful view that you can see here. Shortly after we are reaching the very important station of Bad Kreuznach, where we are leaving the Nahe Valley Railway line. We are continuing on the railway line Gau-Algesheim-Bad Kreuznach on the whole length to Gau-Algesheim, and from there we are continuing on to Mainz. After Mainz we are crossing the river Rhine and we are slowly getting closer to Frankfurt. In Frankfurt we are firstly stopping at the airport, at the regional station of the airport. Of course, another very important stop. Depending on the other trains, it might be happening that the train will get very crowded here if there wasn't a S-Bahn just a few minutes before that, and if the airport is busy, the train can get also pretty busy here. We're then stopping at Frankfurt Niederrad, where I'm also leaving the train. I'm not going all the way to the airport because I parked my car close to Frankfurt Niederrad, so I'm leaving here, and now we can take a look at the departure of my train. And that's already it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Here you can see when the next video will be uploaded, where we will continue somewhere else. And the name of the song, as always, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to comment, like, subscribe or share the video link. And I hope to see you in my next video then.